let's see what we have here. We have comparar con, and we have a space, some blank area there. Comparar a blank con blank. Okay, so this is another phrase, and it's a bit, it's not that complicated, but it's a bit tricky. What does this mean? Comparar a con. Sometimes you can use comparar by itself, but sometimes you can use comparar a blank con blank. This means to compare or to compare to. Okay, when you're comparing two things or two people. Comparar sounds kind of similar to compare, right? Let's look at some examples. No puedes comparar a Miguel con Carlos. Son muy diferentes. No puedes comparar a Miguel con Carlos. Son muy diferentes. So we have the verb here, right? We have comparar. Well, that's thick. Comparar a. And then you add the first thing or person, and then con, and then you add the second thing or person. Okay, so that's how this verb works. Let's look at the meaning. We need to know what this means. What does this mean? You can't compare Miguel to Carlos. Miguel to Carlos. I don't know why I'm saying Carlos if I can say Carlos, right? Just my brain playing games. They're so different. They're so different. You can't compare Miguel to Carlos. They're so different. So how does this work? Let's look. Let's break this down. We have to. No puedes. You can't. Okay? Comparar. We saw this. We explained this. Or I explained this to you. Comparar a. Compare Miguel. We have Miguel. Right? And we have Miguel here. Con in this situation is similar to saying to. And then the other person or thing, Carlos. They are or they're, right? Son. Remember, we don't need to use personal pronouns all the time. So this is similar to saying ellos son. Technically, you're not saying ellos son. There's their son, right? Muy, so, or very, okay? Diferentes, different, okay? No puedes comparar a Miguel con Carlos. Son muy diferentes. You can't compare Miguel to Carlos. They're so different. So this is very interesting how this verb works. Essentially, once again, you're comparing two or more things, people, and you're just comparing which one is, certain way or different or similar, same thing. You're just comparing. Let's look at the other example. The other example is no me compares con ella. So this is a very short example. No me compares con ella. No me compares con ella. Do you know what this means? This means don't compare me to her. Okay? Don't compare me to her. Now, let's see. No me compares. Don't compare me. Don't compare me. And we have, me, that's what this pronoun means. I mean, we've talked about this many times during this stream. Me, no me compares. Don't compare me. Okay. Con, we have con. Okay. So if sometimes you can have, when you have only, when you are talking about yourself, comparing me to, you only need con. You don't need a. Okay. You don't need this one when talking about yourself. Someone is comparing you to someone else. So you don't need a. No me compares con. And then you have the other person. Once again, con, to, ella, her. Okay? Could be él, ella, ellos. Okay? So it depends on the situation. But in this situation, we're talking about her. No me compares con ella. Don't compare me to her. Once again, if you're, saying when you are being compared to someone else, you don't need you need con only. No me compares con ella. Don't compare me to her. Okay? If you have, two different things, then you need a and con. A Miguel con Carlos. No puedes comparar a Miguel con Carlos. You can't compare Miguel to Carlos. You have two people there. Excellent. That was comparar, or comparar a con, or comparar con. It's tricky. It gets tricky. But it's a good verb to remember.